At this point, I'd like to introduce the participants in this process, people that are with me today. And I want them to introduce themselves. And I want you to touch on who are you, what do you do, for whom, if you will. It helps if we have some personal information, married, single, children, that sort of thing. And then most importantly, what is the essence of you? What is the essence of you? Would you like to begin?
My name is Jesse Green. I take care of my little cousin, which is what he's an autistic child. I do little odds and ends work, cutting grass, fixing on houses and stuff. I'm married to Victoria Green right there. And that's about it.
And what would you say is your essence? What's
My
the essence of you?
The essence of me is, oh man, that one right there kind of on the rough side.
I know often we haven't thought about it. And
I've never even thought about that one. So that one I can't even answer y'all.
okay, let me come back, but okay for now. Anything else you'd like to share?
Oh, that's all.
Ann?
My name is Ann Lewis. I am professionally a landscape architect. Prior, I was an artist. I've lived half my life, half of 64 years here in the middle of the country, and the other half in the northeast part of this country. I'm married to a former state legislator, which is how I know Mr. Denson, because of his work in Jefferson City. The essence of me, we were not blessed with children, so I don't have the benefit of that perspective in life. The essence of me is I'm a maker. I like to make stuff physically. Being an artist is about making stuff. Being a landscape architect is about doing construction documents to make stuff. That is what brings me joy. And words are a particular joy of mine. The written word, I think that says it.
Great.
My name is Victoria Green, and as you said, Jesse Green here is my husband. I'm a caregiver. I took care of my grandmother for the last 4 years of her life until she passed away. Take care of my grandchildren. I have 2 children, a son and a daughter. Unfortunately, my son is not speaking to me at this moment, but and then he just had a beautiful baby boy January 29th of last year, so he's a year old now. But the essence of me is a nurturer. One to see of healing. That's just basically me.
I've never done this before, but we have husband and wife here.
Yeah.
Victoria, what is the essence of Jesse?
Oh, wow. Ultimately, I'll say the essence of Jesse is a caregiver as well, or he's in some form of a nurturer, but somehow he falls short somewhere. But that's basically the essence of Jesse.
How's she do, bro?
Wow.
How did I do?
You did good. You told it. It's the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, that's powerful. We all fall short sometimes. There's no doubt about that.
Of course.
And one of the more interesting things in life is there's people that can stumble and not fall because there are people there to catch them.
Yes.
And they can stumble multiple times, and there will be people there to catch them. And it'll all be okay in the long haul because they had resources to be able to navigate to safe water in America, where the water is often choppy. And somebody else can make just one mistake, and it recasts their entire life.
Well, can I expound on what I mean when I say he falls short? What I mean when I say he falls short is all the love is there in him to give. He gives it, but at the same time, he does not know how to receive it. He does not know how to at least that's my partake of my husband. He does not know, at least I don't feel he knows how to receive it from me the way I give it.
You may find that will change as we move through this experience.
I expect it to.
Now, since I wasn't talking about Jesse, though, let me finish my point. One mistake can recast people's lives in a negative manner if they don't have the support to be caught when they stumble. And I find that very, very sad.
Yes.
And that happens a lot of times in the African American community. A lot of times. And I think that we're an interesting example of what happens when something just broken. And it's getting worse. Every day it's getting a little worse. Every day. But you don't know what the root cause is, so you can't effectively address the symptoms of the problem, which you're calling problems, but they're really symptoms. And they just keep getting worse. In other words, what happens when something is broken and don't get fixed? And the truth of the matter is, it keeps getting worse. So see, I'm old enough to know that if you ask people my age, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, could the African American community have devolved, if you will? Could our culture have devolved to the point where it is now? Where 70% of our babies are being born into families where a male will not be intimately involved in their lives. Where the estimate of the percentage of women who, as girls, were sexually abused, literally, is frightening. Where the average child who graduates high school, we're not talking about the half that don't, and almost half don't, but the average child who graduates high school graduates with almost the exact same academic achievement skills as white 8th graders. How's that for starting life with a handicap? And somebody told you had a high school degree. Where we can sit here literally in quote unquote the richest nation anyway on the planet. Nobody's debating that one. And there are 1 million people locked down at this moment who look like me, who are black. And there's 2 million people in total locked down. We just got to count everybody. That's all. And it just keeps getting a little more worse, and a little worse, and a little more worse every day. And my belief is, as black people, we see the carnage. We understand the carnage. We don't want to do the carnage. But by golly, we haven't figured out how to stop the carnage. And I think that that's because we don't know the root cause of the carnage. So I'd like to get started in this work by sharing a spoken word piece, which was written by a brilliant, I call her young, psychotherapist here in St. Louis by the name of Tracy Berry McGee. She's both a psychotherapist and a spoken word artist, and she became aware of this work. And she brought the CD and said, or as I recall anyway, she said, I want you to use it as you see fit in your work. And I love to start our journey with it because I think it speaks incredibly powerfully to the current condition in the African American community. And a question that I struggle with, in fact, I may ask you this question after we watch it, is what will be the condition of the African American community, of African American culture, if you will, in 20 years from now, 20 years in the future, if you will, if current trends are not addressed?